Good morning or good afternoon, Tigers. Today we'll be watching a video on 726, Quizzette 726. As always, please remember you write your last name, comma, first name, today's date, and circle your class color. Monday, number 1, is asking you for the circumference and the area of a circle. Circumference is the perimeter of a circle, so it's the outside. And the area for circumference of a circle is C equals 2 pi r. And I'll explain that in the math notes that we will be taking later on in the week. I'm going to have you rewrite the circumference formula every time that you see number 1, and also the area formula of a circle. The area is everything inside of the circle, and the formula for the area is pi r squared. And these are all being multiplied. So 2 times pi times r and pi times r squared. Or you can also write it like this. Area equals pi times r times r. These are the same thing. Same thing. They're just written differently. Here it gives you a radius, which is 4.5. That's your radius. So if you're just solving for the circumference would be 2 times pi, and they tell you that pi is 3.14, and the radius is 4.5. So you would stick that into a calculator, and then you would get your answer. So after the Quizzette video, I want you to go to the calculator, multiply 2 times 3.14 times 4.5, and that's the circumference, which is the perimeter or the outside of the circle. Now the area is everything inside. So the area would be pi, which is 3.14, times 4.5, which is the radius, times 4.5 again. So you would stick that into the calculator, multiply those 3 numbers, and your total will be your area. The SMP I'm using here is definitely a 10 to precision. I have to be really neat. And I apologize, I didn't have a lot of room, so my work is a little sloppy. Try to do better than me, so a 10 to precision. Number 2 reads, what is the surface area? When you think of surface area, I want you to think of wrapping a gift and the exterior of a shape or a geometric figure. Here we have a rectangular prism. The rectangular prism has 3 types of sides. It has this side that kind of looks like a cube. It has this side that's kind of like a skinny rectangle. And then it has another side that looks like a wider rectangle. Now, the wider rectangle, the yellow that I shaded, the area of this is going to be the length times the width. So you have 2 of those. You have one on this side, and you have one on this side that you can't see. So you have 2 times 9 times 7, because those are your areas, okay? And then for the green, you have 2 of these. One on the top, one on the bottom that you can't see. Now, this is going to be the tricky part, finding the area of the green shaded rectangle. That area will be length times width. The length you know is 9. Let me write it in black. 9, because the lengths are all 9. And then this side right here is either 6 or 7. I can tell you right now that it's not 7, because 7 is the height. And you don't need the height, you need the width. So it's 6. So you have 2 green rectangles that are 9 by 6. And now the last one, I actually shaded it in black. I'm going to change it to red. It's easier to see that color. I have 2 of those. I have one on the front of the rectangular prism and one in the back that you can't see. Now that one is 6 times the height, and the height is 7. So you have 2 times 6 times 7. You may also notice, Mr. McIntyre pointed this out today in our morning meeting, that there's all 3 combinations of numbers. You have 9 times 7, 9 times 6, and then you have 7 times 6. So 9 times 7, 9 times 6, 6 times 7. Now, I wouldn't recommend solving the surface area based on patterns, but that's just a cool pattern that you see that'll connect maybe an SMP at the end. So you multiply all of these areas and then you add them together at the end to get you your total surface area. So at the very end, you're going to add these and add that to this, and that'll get you your total surface area equals, and it's going to give you a big, nice number. So let's break it down. We have 9 times 7, which is 42. So this now is 2 times, I'm sorry, I said 42, it's 63. And 9 times 6 is 54. So I'm just multiplying the inside of the parentheses. And then 6 times 7 is 42. Oops, I was supposed to write that in red. And remember, you're going to add these all together at the end. 2 times 63 is 126. 126. 2 times 54 is 108. 2 times 42 is 84. Add those all together and you get your surface area. So I added them on the side and I got 318 yards. So my surface area is 318 yards. So remember when you're doing it throughout the week that you have 3 types of sides. It's your job to find those 3 types of sides. If you would like to use colored pencils or colored pens so that you could be a little bit more organized, you may do that. The SMP that I'm using here the most is I'm looking for repeated reasoning, making use of structure. So SMP 7 and SMP 8 would be the most appropriate. If I had to choose between those two, I would put SMP 8. Look for patterns every time, or just look for patterns is fine. Okay, number 3. Number 3 says, the polygons in each pair are similar. That is a key word right there, similar. That means they are alike, but they have a different measurement. Find the missing side length. Here, the missing side length is x. Now, you can solve this 2 ways. You can use mental mathematics. You can reason 2 times what gets you 8. 2 times 4 gets you 8. So you know that this rectangle is being maximized by a scale factor of 4. So the scale factor would be 4. So all you would have to do is multiply 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. So x is equal to 20. Another way you can do this is by proportions, which we did at the very beginning of the year, which my data indicates that you guys succeeded more in ratios and proportions than in any other unit, which is really good. So I would set up a cross multiplication. 2 to 8, so 2 over 8. Set it equal to 5 over x. Cross multiply. 2 times x is 2x. 8 times 5 is 40. Solve for x, which is your expressions and equations unit that we did in December. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 goes into 40 20 times. If you look here, your mental mathematics and your proportions line up. They both get you the correct answer. Now let's look at number 3 for Tuesday. And I want you to notice something on number 3 for Tuesday. I'm sorry, my video is being a little difficult. Number 3 on Tuesday, it gets you a larger number on top of a smaller number. So you could easily say 12 divided by what gets me 3, but that mental math wouldn't work here. You would have to set up your proportion. 12 to 3 equals, let me go back to the original screen. So 20 to x. Now you would cross multiply and solve for x. So I wouldn't recommend using mental math for number 3 on Tuesday. I would only recommend it when the answer is a very easy solution like number 3 on Monday. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. Good luck on this Quizzette, Tigers. Have a good week. 20 to x. I apologize.